Hier in Brüssel findet morgen ein hochinteressanter Prozess statt. Der Belgier Frédéric Baldon hat die Europäische Volkspartei verklagt, weil sie Frau von der Leyen erneut für das Amt der Kommissionspräsidentin vorschlagen will. Seiner Meinung nach ist das mit den viel zitierten europäischen Werten nicht zu vereinbaren. Denn von der Leyen steht in einem laufenden Verfahren, in dem es um Korruption, Vernichtung öffentlicher Dokumente und Anmaßung von Titeln und Ämtern geht. Und um 35 Milliarden Euro. Wir haben mit Frédéric Baldon gesprochen.
Frédéric Baldon, Sie sind belgischer Lobbyist, Sie sind eigentlich ein Lobbyist der Bürger. Sie haben im April 2023 Strafanzeige gegen Frau von der Leyen wegen Korruption, Veruntreuung und Vernichtung öffentlicher Dokumente und wegen Anmaßung von Titeln und Ämtern eingereicht. Wie ist der Stand der Klage? Was hat das zu bedeuten jetzt?
Since I filed this complaint, what had happened? We went to an hearing on May 17th in Liège before the criminal court of Liège. So there is still an ongoing criminal investigation targeting vonderLeyen and also Pfizer and the others. The result of that hearing is that the president decided to postpone it. So this is what we asked with my lawyer, and it was not the wish of vonderLeyen that wanted at the time to shut it down. And so as a result now, the hearing is postponed to next December this year. It means that vonderLeyen, she will continue to be under investigation, a criminal one. And so if you look at the treaties, the European Council, which is supposed to propose the next president of the European Commission to the Parliament, is not allowed, according to the treaty, to propose vonderLeyen because the situation is incompatible with the position. So we send a formal notice to the Council to prevent them from appointing, not really appointing, but to designate vonderLeyen as a candidate for the presidency.
Super. Das bedeutet, wenn der Rat Frau von der Leyen tatsächlich als Kommissionspräsidentin vorschlagen wird, dann werde ich sie zumindest nicht wählen. Am Freitag ist ein Prozess. Sie haben noch mehr Anzeige erstattet. Wählbar war Frau von der Leyen eigentlich noch nie. Ihr undemokratischer Name stand noch nie auf einem Wahlzettel für die EU. Und Sie haben jetzt Klage eingereicht gegen Ihre Nominierung für eine zweite Amtszeit in Europa. Ich zitiere aus Ihrer Klageschrift: Die Nominierung von Frau von der Leyen durch die EVP für das Amt des Präsidenten der Europäischen Kommission ist ein Machtmissbrauch. Warum?
Because you know the people basically sometimes they don't really understand the European Union functioning, so Mrs. von der Leyen, she is not a politician. It's not like, you know, sometimes the people, they said you want to interfere with the democratic choice and blah, blah, blah. So there is, first of all, there is no one voting for EPP. There are people voting for national parties, and then the elected politicians can decide to be member of a group. And so in the case of Mrs. von der Leyen, she's part of an unelected group, and she is not a politician, she's a civil servant. And here she wanted to become again a civil servant, being the president of the European Commission. So this is a reason why she don't have the same protection. And the fact that the political party EPP wants to continue, they want to continue to propose Mrs. von der Leyen as head of the European Commission, it's an abuse of power. Why? Because they know that basically it's an infringement to the European treaties. There is an infringement to the Code of Conduct. There is even an infringement. What Mrs. von der Leyen did is not compatible with the status of her own party. So if you look at the ethics and Code of Conduct of the political party EPP, you can see that, okay, so what she did don't even comply, and the candidacy don't even comply. So we have people that decided to obviously violate the rule of law. They violated the treaties, law, their own status, all the code of conduct and ethics. So this is not normal to try to appoint a civil servant in such a situation.
Ich wünsche viel Glück für den Prozess am Freitag. Wahrscheinlich halten Sie die Aufklärung der ganzen Affäre und eine Verurteilung von Frau von der Leyen?
So if we compare the situation with Al Capone, there is something very funny, like it was not possible to directly convince people that he was guilty just based on the criminal activities, the very heavy one. But it was possible to have direct evidences about the taxation. So they shoot at Al Capone using the tax law. And so maybe about von der Leyen, there is something amazing. It's just like, if you want to be sure that finally she is guilty for about some infringement to the criminal law in Belgium, you can see this situation. She said, I don't have my messages anymore, those exchanges with Mr. Bourla. So it means that if she don't have these messages anymore, she destroy the public document. And because Mrs. von der Leyen is a civil servant, if she destroyed public document, this is a criminal infringement. And so if she still have these documents, because it was considered by the Ombudsman of the EU and also the Court of Auditor as part of the negotiation, so public documents. If she still have it, but she refused to give it to us, according to the Belgian law, it's also a criminal infringement because she's a civil servant. We have the fundamental rights to transparency, and so it means that if she prevents us from getting these public documents, it's also an infringement. So it doesn't matter, she could be in a situation A or B. These little details about the transparency make that we can believe that she's guilty.
Ja, dann sehe ich schwarz für eine weitere Kandidatur der Kommissionspräsidentin. Ich gehe davon aus, dass sie demnächst in einem belgischen Gefängnis sitzt und ja, Pech gehabt. Notfalls kriegen wir sie auch wegen ihrer Betonfrisur dran. Die Zeiten früher waren anders. 1999 ist die gesamte Kommission Center zurückgetreten, nachdem die französische Kommissarin Edith Cresson ihren Zahnarzt eingestellt hatte. Rücktritte scheinen aus der Mode gekommen zu sein mittlerweile. Sie kennen trotzdem den Fall jetzt wie kein zweiter. Sollten wir Europa wirklich noch einmal für 5 Jahre den Laien überlassen?
So basically this is the starting point of the creation of a code of conduct for the EU Commissioner. So because we faced a scandal 25 years ago with Mrs. Cresson, the Commission Center, so they faced a scandal of taking illegal interest, giving advantages to their own people, friends, and so a kind of corruption. So finally the whole Commission was obliged to quit the job. And so after that, they made a kind of internal investigation to understand what happened and how it was possible. And the result is they decided to create a code of conduct to say that the EU Commissioner, they have to be honest. They have to appear to be honest. The multiple conditions like this. And so if you just read this code of conduct, you understand that Mrs. von der Leyen, she's not supposed to be EU Commissioner anymore. And so the question is the Commission, we will see if in the future the Commission wants to apply this code of conduct. Because basically she's still here because the Commission refused to apply this code of conduct. And we even tried to go to the European Court of Justice. And we tried to ask for the suspension of Mrs. von der Leyen. And so basically they tried anything. So they were not independent. They are former officials from the European Commission that they have to judge the EU Commission. So this is just like crazy. And so they said the opposite of the law. They said, oh, okay, you have not a sufficient prejudice to ask for the suspension of Mrs. von der Leyen. But this is not the law. The law said that if the fault of Mrs. von der Leyen is big, they need to judge the fault, not my prejudice. Because she obviously violated the fundamental rights of the people, so it means that she violated the code of conduct. And this is the reason why we send a formal notice also to the Council and the EU Commission.
Frédéric Baldon, vielen Dank für Ihren Einsatz für die Demokratie. Sie sind ein Lobbyist der Bürger Europas und ich glaube, wir sollten die EU den Laien nicht noch einmal 5 Jahre überlassen. Tschüss draußen an den Geräten.
Thank you.